Hey, how you doing there tonight? Tonight we're going to talk about how you use habits in order to improve your content creation. And stick around, I've got some bonus habits we're going to talk about then. And the best way to talk about this is to have a productivity coach on. So I've invited Florence from Equip Institute to be on the show tonight because she is fantastic at productivity. And so I'm hoping she's going to help me fix all my errors and my ways. How you doing tonight, Florence?
I'm doing great, but we need to ask for some help for you. We need to ask for some help for you. We love you. We're your fam, but we need to ask for some help for you.
I might need some help. Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. So, we're gonna jump into our topic. So I already see some folks out there. Let's get going. So
Hey,
yeah, I got it. So, we're gonna do a little PowerPoint. No, we're not, but it's gonna be something like that. So, all right, here we go.
okay.
Atomic habits. So if you're not familiar with James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, I recommend that you get this book, you listen to this book. I prefer to listen to it, but you're going to want to take notes. And I do have a link in the description if you want to go to Amazon and go buy it. It is an affiliate link, so I might get a penny or two if you buy it. But he talks about 4 laws of behavioral change, and I'm thinking this kind of a content creator edition. And Florence is here to correct me in all my ways and also to keep me honest. But it's like make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. So make it obvious. Design for your workspace for creation. So the principal habits are more likely to stick when your environment primes you for action. What are your thoughts on that, Florence?
So I agree, and this is the thing that I'm going to say. Making it obvious is not. It's for content creation, depending on what your type of content is. I'm going to make a wild assumption that you're going to validate that it's correct or not. And that wild assumption is we're focusing on video, live video creation, not
Hmm.
other types of content. Because depending on what you're doing, if you're a graphic designer or you're doing audio only podcast or you're doing something else, then making it obvious can look very different for you,
Yeah.
as well as the other habits.
I think these habits well. I mean, let me show you. I got some. Here's some ways you can apply to YouTube content creation. So I mean, one
So,
thing.
yep.
Yeah,
So again, live video.
yeah,
I'm assuming let's narrow this down, because if you go too broad, you're not gonna do. It's just like a habit. You're not gonna do anything, and you're not gonna stick to it because it's too big. So I'm
yeah,
gonna narrow it down and say let's focus on live video, and then those who want to apply to other areas, whether it's cooking or whatever, graphic design. Let's talk about live video as our model portion or type of content creation, if that's okay
yeah.
with you. Okay.
Well, and I agree. I hesitantly I agree because it
You
does
can
apply
you
to
can
other content.
hesitate.
But
It
yeah,
does. However, do you want your audience to get anything out of it? Y'all, I'm
yeah.
coaching. I this is what I do. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
not
that's
giving
why I
him a
brought
hard
you on
time
here,
because
Florence.
Roy is one of my favorite people. He knows I adore him. But so in that realm, making it obvious, that's your cue. The first step is he calls it a cue. What's going to cue you
Hmm.
in your space for you to take action, whatever that action happens to be. I'm going to
Yeah,
use me in a whole different way. And if you've ever heard me, you may have heard this story. But if you haven't, I'm going to share it because it represents how I function so much. Every day, I lay my clothes out like what you teach when you, if you're a parent, you teach your children lay your clothes out all the way down to your shoes. Well, I do the same thing as an adult, and I've done that. But that's my clue. So today I laid out my clothes for what I was going to wear earlier in the day, and I laid out my clothes for what I was going to wear this evening. That clued me. That's my cue. When I went to look at the clothes, what are you preparing for? So, whatever that cue is, making it so that it's you can't miss it, and it triggers your brain into what am I supposed to be doing, or what do I plan to do, or what do I want to do. Exactly the same thing with your content creation. All of the cues that you need that would make it easy for your brain to say, "Oh, I'm in this mode now. I'm in writing mode, or recording mode, or editing mode, or live streaming mode."
Yeah, I definitely agree. And here's some YouTube applications. One, designate a specific space solely for content creation, even a small corner do, and then have filming equipment notes and any creative props trace so that you have no friction to prevent you from going to hit that go live button.
Again, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you use so how do you do that? What does it look like, right? It's saying have a small space but have your cues. Well, start to understand, especially if you're new, how do you use your live streaming software? Whether you're using YouTube Live, the actual YouTube app, or whether you're using something like Ecamm that Roy uses. Having your profiles set up and built, having your segments already in place, know how you're going to work with it, or at least be on the road to learning how you're going to
Mm-hmm.
work with it. I call myself on the road to that because it seems like every week I do something crazy, but on the road to getting really good at it. But it
Yeah.
triggers you. When I see a certain profile, I'm going live. When I see another kind of profile, I'm doing video recording. I see another type of profile, I'm going into a meeting. So that's a cue right in something, if you're doing live video, that you can form as a habit. Just creating a profile and naming it, and even changing the colors. I have different colors that I use in different backgrounds. That's a way to set your environment, just in something as straightforward as your encoder, your live streaming
Yeah.
software, right?
Yeah. I
I
definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I was sharing with you, Roy, before we came on. I've changed my lights, y'all, and I don't know any of the stuff, right? So I can coach, been doing it for years. I can speak, been doing it for years. Can teach you productivity, been doing it for years. These lights and things is a whole problem. It's a whole
Yeah.
problem. So I got these Godox lights and don't understand anything about them. So I've been warring with these lights, but that's an example of where I'm
Mm-hmm.
having to now set these so that, again, when they come on, they're correct, but they're ready to go.
Yeah. That's good stuff. So, I mean, I have a camera mounted and ready at all times. I have my prompter set up at all times. I have my lights set up at all times. And so I can just say, Alexa, turn on Roy's desk, and I hit Ecamm, start up Ecamm for me. That's my software choice, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to hit that go live button. And I have some default scenes that I have to go live
Mhm.
with. I even have like
Mhm.
I have lots of scenes called JIC. I call this my just in case. So I have a scene. So, like, for example, if I start a live show and I didn't plan for a guest, but suddenly a guest is coming on, I hit JIC guest. So here's the guest. The guest is now able to come on, and I've got a scene for that. So those are
Mhm.
habits that I have to try to make it seamless for me to try to go forward and do
So
stuff.
those are your cues,
Those
making it
are.
easy.
Yeah.
That's the first part. This is a loop, right? So
Yeah.
what he designed is a loop, and it's a habit loop, and each piece works to get you to the next piece, to next step. So there are four of them that Roy showed when we first came in. For this first one is your cue. What's going to
Yeah.
trigger you? Kind of like in the software world, we talk about triggers. What's the trigger for something to happen? Well, it's the same for your environment that you work in. I have back here on my desk a red planner. That thing is with me all the time. It's red. It sticks out. But when I open it, it puts me in a certain mind frame, frame of mind.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. So make it attractive. Find your why.
That's number two. Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to say it's the craving. What's the thing? That one of the things he talks about in one of his, and I'm going to suggest people do this, but he has a a little free course you can take, and he talks about in there this whole craving step two of this loop. What is it that you're going to want that's going to be attractive enough for you, almost like it creates a craving. Those of us who love certain types of food, our body will crave it. If you exercise, your body will crave it. Something that your body will want to do, something your mind will want to do. Let's say this, let's keep it positive. Keep it positive. So, what is the trigger? And then you want to make it so that you're going to want to do it.
Hmm.
You're going to want to. And it's not so big and scary that it repels you.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to work for you and not against you, as I say. So what are things we can do?
All right. So, why are you creating content? What excites you about it? So you're talking about that craving. Is it teaching? Is it entertaining? Is it connected with your niche? Write down your why and refer to it regularly, and especially during challenging moments. So like for me, my why is I want to teach others how to get better at content creation. And I get excited about that. I love when people leave comments and say, Roy, that was a really helpful video. Thank you so much for doing it. And so that is my why. Florence, what's your why for your channel and for the things that you do?
Well, mine is pretty straightforward. I want to help people, specifically small business owners, entrepreneurs, faith-based leaders. I come out of the faith tradition, faith-based leaders, nonprofit executives, to get all of the friction out of their productivity system for this very reason, so that they will want to do the thing, and it won't be a struggle for them, and they won't be repelled from the work that they have to do. This is this past Monday I released a video. I release one every Monday, and I talked about in that video, and this kind of is applicable, is understanding the value of your time. And when you understand the value of your time, then you're gonna want to do things and put systems in place that attract you. So when you sit down or stand up to record or to go live, you are using every minute wisely. So if you can think, my time, I'm going to work 2.5 hours a day on content creation, and at $300 an hour, 2.5 hours, every minute is worth $5.
Hmm.
And if you want to invest that time, that's what's going to attract you. I'm doing something, making an investment. Then that'll help drive you because you're making an investment. You're not spending your time, you're investing your time, and you're going to have a return on it. And that's one of the ways that I believe it helps people. It attracts you to want to do this work.
Hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Let's I think we should go out and check on our friends out
Absolutely, because
here.
I see some folk out there I know.
Yeah,
How
let's
y'all
go say
doing?
hi to everybody. You definitely stick around because we got more, and then I got some bonus tips for you, bonus habits. So we don't want to miss out on that. So please stick around for that. All right, let's see. Wow, I got a lot of folks out there. Stuart in the house. He was first one in. Yeah, welcome, sir. Hey, Roy. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Sammy.
Hey,
Sammy,
Sammy.
you get your channel back. It sounds like. Congratulations. Matt says he'll help me. You told him I need lots of help. Hey, kids. Hey,
Hey,
Adam.
Adam.
Laura, how you
Hi,
doing?
Laura.
Sammy Superstar. Hey, Florence. Hey, Roy. Hey, everyone. Hey, John. How you
Hey,
doing tonight?
John.
The emotional CEO. Yeah, I think you know him.
Yes. No, don't be causing trouble out there.
I'm okay. Nicholas, how you doing tonight, sir?
Hi,
Welcome,
Nicholas.
welcome. He's saying hi to everybody. Dagan.
Hey, Dagan.
Let's see. Adam says put your running shoes on your feet before you go to bed.
Some days I need to do that, Adam.
You'll guarantee you're going to get up and go run in the morning that way if you do it that way, right?
Exactly.
So, rocket. All right. Hello. Hey, Mikey. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Good morning from
Hey,
this
Lala.
side of the world. Hey, Lala. How you doing? Live coaching sessions. Yeah. Yeah. I need lots of work. So, hey, Dagan. Yep. Hey, Stuart saying hi to everybody. Well, awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you did a good job of typing all that. Woo.
Hey, mommy guys saying hi to everybody as well. Hey, mommy, Diggin, saying hi to Nicholas. Say la la. Stuart, hey Stuart, mommy, Matt, Sammy, Adam. Distractions. Oh my, I struggle with this big time. Yeah. Uh, David, how you doing, sir?
Hey,
Welcome, welcome.
David.
I need to get David. I need to get you on the show. By the way, I've been meaning to reach out to you. Pierre Kelly in the house.
Hey,
Hey,
Pierre.
welcome. David Hunt. Yep, saying hi to everybody. Lots of folks saying hey. So I'm going to ask you guys, what kind of habits do you have that help you in your content creation? Whether you've been inspired by Atomic Habits or not. Awesome. So much fun in this live. Please don't forget to hit that like on the live stream. Yeah, thank you so much for that, La. David saying hi. Hey. Everybody's saying wow. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hey,
That's
tall boy.
awesome.
It is.
Hey, tall boy.
Yeah, hello, hey, hey.
TBJ.
TVJ in the building.
TBJ in the building.
Hey, Tall Boy, ready for tomorrow? So, yeah, by the way, Tall Boy goes live on Wednesdays at 8
Wednesdays.
p.m. Eastern. So, you definitely need to go and check out Tall Boy's show. He puts tech news in plain English. Wow, everybody's just saying hi to everybody. That's fine. That's
Just
fantastic.
subscribe.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
that's pretty short and
Thanks, man. I
definitive.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's better for
Yeah.
other people to call to action. I don't like pressuring people into anything. So, yeah. So thanks, everybody. Well, what do you guys do for? What kind of habits have you formed that help you with your content creation?
And I'm
Um,
going to challenge you to ask some questions. I love answering questions. So Q colon and ask your question.
yep, definitely hit the Q colon and ask questions. Let's go back to presenting. All right, there we go. All right, so um, make it easy. Break tasks into small chunks. The principle: reduce friction and focus on tiny steps that build up over time. So
Yeah.
it's
This
amazing.
is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Go ahead. You were saying it's amazing. I didn't mean to cut you off. I
No,
apologize.
I just it's it's you it's how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? That kind of saying. A lot of people get analysis paralysis because they're trying to think of the whole thing in their head, and they get overwhelmed by it. And if they would just break things down into small tasks like this, for example, for content creation, don't try and make a video as one giant task. Break it down. Brainstorm, and then topic selection, and then maybe outlining and scripting if that's your way of doing things. And so, do it in small chunks. Don't make it so complicated on yourself. And what are some ways that Florence that you use for your productivity and your content creation that is an example of that?
So I do use paper systems because I'm a pen fanatic, but and paper snob. But I break down everything. My newsletter is broken down into small steps. I have a weekly piece of content that I send out to my membership community. It every week, every day I do like 5 minutes on it. Literally 5 minutes every day, but by the end of the week it's ready to go in those 5 minutes. Um my live stream, same thing. So this is one that's a little bit different the way I handle it. Although, and don't get me because I know I owe you, but once a month for the month, I decide on a theme for the month, a broad theme. And I write out and actually write a brief for the month, break it down into each of the Fridays of the month, and then we work through those week by week. So by the time, most times, again, don't get me, I'm telling on myself. The thumbnails are created. So unlike most of you all, I don't do my own graphic design. I have a designer who happens to be in the chat tonight, the emotional CEO. He's a graphic designer extraordinaire. So all of my graphics he does, but I have to give him a brief So this is how I break it down. So one of the steps in my process is get everything ready to hand off for him so he can go ahead and make the thumbnails and things like that. And anything else that I ask him to make to go with that show or that series or that theme or whatever it is. And that helps him. So while he's doing that, I'm researching the topics and starting to just brainstorm ideas about the topics, questions that'll get answered. How do I want to present it? What information I want to share about me? So I break it down into teeny tiny steps, and I do something pretty much 7 days a week. Not suggesting that you should have to work 7 days a week. That just happens to be me and my craziness. But I do something pretty much 7 days a week. And then about once a month, I'll take like 2 days off and won't do anything.
Hmm. Now, that's actually good advice as well, because there's a lot of people that forget to take time off. Here's some
Mhm.
more things you can kind of baby steps. You can break things chunks into. You can do your filming, and then your editing, and then your thumbnail design, and then uploading optimization. Choose one micro task to focus on each session. So
Mhm.
those are some
And
more.
and that's what I just described, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect at it. You know, when are you going to do your chapters? Are you going to do them immediately? I don't do mine immediately. Some people might. After the live stream, I have two or three that I haven't done the chapters on. I've chosen to work on something else, but it was an intentional choice. However, whatever that is for you, one of my habits, and I'll put this in, is without fail, I watch my live stream every Friday after I've done it because it's fresh. And a member of my team and we debrief. And that person, my community manager, is watching and says, here are things that I noticed. And those become, you will talk about it later in the next step, but those go into my response. The feedback that I get from my community manager saying these are things to work on, as well as my designer, are things that I apply going forward. Now, I recognize that I just said I have a team. I'm fortunate. My best friend loves me, and he also has a broadcast background. And my brother is a designer and does this. Everybody doesn't have that. I'm super blessed and very well aware of it. But even when it's you and you're doing it, I'm starting to learn a few of these little skills. Take the same approach. I would implore you take the same approach. You still have a life outside or in addition to content creation. Even if it's your full-time business, you still have another life. You have a home and a family, and it can consume you. And then when you're in the hospital or in the bed for days, can't get out, you'll be trying to figure out why. The adrenaline rush can make you say, I'm going to do this 24 hours a day forever. No, 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 no. You're not. You're human. Your body needs a break from it. Your mind needs a break from it. So breaking the things down into small chunks will help tremendously. Despite how much we all get an adrenaline rush and want to just do this because we want that, it's called a habit for a reason.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, speaking of habits, make it satisfying. Celebrate small wins. Principle
There's
number.
I'm gonna let's do this one
Yeah.
last. We need to talk about the response. The response of you making the change first before you go into that reward.
Hmm.
And that's where I was talking about the response from you doing the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that you get that the reward comes next. That'll feed you back into your queue. So it's a whole cycle, four-step cycle. It's a loop and it doesn't break. It works the same way all the time. So what is the response to you in you and in your environment that you experience? It may be that adrenaline rush. It may be you got a positive comment from a viewer, or a viewer asks you a question and you're excited about answering that question and it gave you a great idea of another way to serve your community. So that's can be some of those can be some of the responses. It may be the response may be you made a fantastic connection with another creator and you all are now supporting each other. So the response from going through these small habits will be different for each of you. I would implore you don't overlook those, however. Not just the reward, but the response.
Hmm.
The reward comes next.
Hmm. Good points. Good points. That's
It's
true.
also the easy part. It's the easy part.
Um.
And the rewards we all love.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Don't.
we want. That's what we want. We want the
Yeah.
rewards, right?
You got to set some baby milestones, baby step milestones. So like, don't wait till you have massive subscriber numbers to celebrate. Acknowledge milestones. Finish your first polished video, you hit 10 subscribers, or you received a positive comment like you were talking about. Mastered a new editing technique. Reward doesn't have to be extravagant. A favorite snack, a walk, or whatever makes you happy.
Yeah,
So, all right.
exactly. And the reward is where the satisfaction comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And I submitted, we want that feeling, that positive feeling. When we don't follow the whole loop, it can be a struggle. I'm just saying, it can be a struggle to get to that reward piece because we've ignored the others. And habits is how we live our life. More than 90% of what we do day to day is a habit. We do it without thinking. And if we have a habit, let's just say, we're going to make this applicable to content creation. Our habit is we don't at least outline our topic and do some level of research, even if it's going back through our own notes of a topic we know well. I'll give you an example. This show is an example. I've read the book multiple times. I've taught classes on this multiple times. I've taken his class that he sends out. It's an email class, of course. I went back through all of my notes from that in preparing for tonight. Not only what he wrote, but what I took out of it for myself to refresh myself. That's part of that loop. Why? Because I wanted to be. So is that unique? No. I prepare for every live stream, every video the same way. I do the homework. That's a part of my habit, but I had to develop it. So you don't just wake up one day and I'm going to be a fabulous content creator. Are you going to be one? Yes. Are you going to be successful? Absolutely, without a doubt. Are you going to get to the 10,000 subscribers? Yes, 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 yes. Let me just say this, habits, and I'm going to sum it up in one thing, make it easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. Make it easy to do, but it's also easy not to do.
Mm.
It's easy to drink a glass of water. It's also easy to drink a soda instead of a glass of water.
Yeah.
Which one is healthier for you?
Mm.
The water. In content creation, these small habits are easy to do, but they can also be easy not to do. It can be easy not to do your research, and it can be easy to do your research, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Matt, yeah, your habit. Writing your talking points before you go live. Easy to do. It's also easy not to do. And if you're
Very
going to
true.
wing it, then if you're not getting the results that you expect, what are you putting in? Right? Exactly right.
Yeah.
I sum it up that way, and I learned that a long time ago from someone who's very successful. Make it so routine that it's boring.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, for a lot of us, it's maybe you need a checklist. I mean, really, just to kind of make sure you do
Hmm.
everything you're supposed to do. That can be a habit. That checklist. Oh, and Nicholas says he meant to say subscribe to Florence. That's definitely
Oh,
true.
thank
You
you.
definitely need to subscribe to
That is so
Florence's
kind of
Equip
you.
Institute.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Indeed, how to eat an elephant kind of way, one bite at a time. Exactly. Let's see. What are some examples of common friction points that can be easily removed or reduced?
Oh, lots of them. So some examples are how where do you capture your ideas? A friction point can be I capture my ideas in five different applications. I put some in a Google Doc, I put some in Apple Notes, I put some in a notebook and don't move them out. I voice record some and don't go back and pull them out or get them transcribed. That's the easy one. And it's I fell into that when I first started and I know better. And I very quickly said, no, 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 no. You know better. Be disciplined about where you're putting these ideas. So I now corral them all and put them in one place.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a similar issue where I have notes everywhere. So Google Docs and Google Keep are probably my most successful because they're the most easily searchable for me. So those are just places that I like, and I know you're
Yeah.
a big fan of
So
Evernote.
I am a huge fan of Evernote,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been using it since it came out, and I've got a pretty robust, not a very robust, mature system set up in it.
Mm-hmm.
My moderator, my community manager has a page in there. My designer, that's where he goes to look. That's where he drops graphics for me to sign off on or give feedback on. He edits some of my writing, especially things that I'm putting out. And we do it in Evernote.
Yeah.
Everybody has access and it's easy for us and we don't have to figure out anything. And I don't care whether they're using Android or Windows or Mac or iOS or Linux or anything. As long as they can get to a browser, they can get to it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see what else we got here. What do most of your clients struggle with, Florence?
What do most of my clients struggle with? Um, it may sound a little strange, but the first thing is believing that they can be productive, really believing that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish. And I don't mean that by, um, when I say accomplish, like I want to fix this part of my system or I want to put a system in place or I don't want to be stressed out. And just believing that it's possible and then believing that it's not going to look like someone else's. Everyone, just like we are all absolutely unique, even identical twins are unique. Our productivity system is unique for each and every one of us. There are no two people who have the exact same system, even if they use the same methodology.
Hmm. Good stuff, man. Here's another one. What are some effective strategies to prioritize tasks when faced with a heavy workload?
You're talking to the queen of a heavy workload. And let me just tell you, it can be insane. Um, one really what we talked about. One is breaking it down. Number two, having routines. I use a lot of routines. Morning routine, how I start up my office in the day, how I close down my office in the day, how I set my day up the night before. For example, tomorrow morning when I come over here in the office, sit down, I have two desks. This is a desk over here, and then the desk here that I'm looking at the camera. Well, when I go to that computer over there, it's one mode. Well, when I turn that thing on, actually don't turn it on because it stays on, but I hit the keys. I've got all of my meetings in a note. I've got who I'm meeting with, what I'm talking about. The agendas for meetings that I'm facilitating are already done and sent out to everyone. Reminders are already scheduled to go out because I do them the day before. And most of them are scripted, so it's just hit a couple buttons and schedule it. So routining is the way I handle a lot of that overload. One day, Thursday of this week, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., I have meetings nonstop. There is not a break in between any of them. And the only today, everything for Thursday is already prepared
Mm.
because I'm not going to there's no airspace to do anything. And as I'm putting notes in the in my note taking application, one of my team members is going to be taking the action items out, throwing them in our planning system.
Good stuff.
And then Friday morning, I'll look at them. And it's the same way in content creation.
And Lala says, "Awesome, Matt. Keep the questions coming." Didn't he ask, "How can you be productive when you have two cute puppies?" Haha, just kidding.
Being productive is playing with them cute puppies. Let me just tell you. A friend of mine, actually a colleague, his dog had surgery Thursday of last week, and every day I'm checking on the dog
Hmm.
because it was on one of his hind legs. He can't walk on it, and he's just, not being very happy right now, but it was for his good. And so I do. If we're in a meeting, I'll go, "Hey, what's happening with Azo? Let me know because I need to see him." He knows my voice and he hears my voice, and he looks up like, "Oh, where is she?" So yeah, play with your puppies. Play, if you have kittens or whatever. There are some animals I don't particularly care for. They crawl on the ground, but like slither around, you can't handle those. But some people love them, and I'm not judging, no judgment. But you have pets, and your children are not pets. Just saying, your children are not pets. But love on them, hug them, hug them. I have a habit with my brother, and he's gonna laugh. He's probably gonna pop me in the back of my head. But in the morning, I will do something. So for those who don't know, my brother and I share a home, and so I will. My way of just telling him that I love him without saying it is I'll do something silly, like I'll walk up to him and just kind of nudge him, and it's my way. But that's productive for me. It reminds me that this is somebody who really cares about me and that I really care about, and we want to show it to each other. So that's not non-productive. Relationships is everything. At the end of your life, at the end of your life, all the things in the world are not going to matter. Your loved ones are what's going to matter, and they're going to be the ones that will remember you, and you're going to remember them. So the number one thing are the people and your babies, your fur babies in your life.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, David Hunt says, "Make it easy to do habits." Um,
Absolutely.
Mommy Gad's posted a link out to your channel, so yeah, definitely
Thank you.
everybody go out and subscribe to Florence's. We'll talk about all the places you can find Florence there in just a few minutes. Uh, and Joshua says we love Evernote. And Laura says she just
Thank
subscribed
you,
to your
Laura.
channel. Yeah,
That is
awesome.
so kind of you. Thank you.
David Hunt agrees with me. He says Google Keep for the win. Yeah,
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 I know,
good
David,
stuff.
you are a Google Keep user. Hmm.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Yes, and she does it while I'm making coffee.
I do. I do it while he's making coffee. He's at the coffee pot and I'm annoying him.
Uh, let's while we got that topic here, let's talk about places where we can find Florence at. Um, let's go here. Let's see. Da da da. There's here. All right. First of all, here is her YouTube channel, Equip Institute. She goes live every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Let me do some math live. That would be 3:30 Pacific. I hate to think too hard there, but yes, that'd be 3:30 Pacific from our West Coast friends on here. So definitely go and watch her channel. She just fantastic productivity tips and how to automate things, and so she goes into a lot of detail about that and how to kind of improve your life using these tips. And she also offers coaching, which she is helping me. I joke with her that she's actually my content creation therapist, because she's trying to get me organized on my content creation efforts. But just a huge help. So
He's making great progress, you all. He's playing it down, and this is one of the things we're working on. So yes, I'm gonna put you on blast. He's playing it down, but he is doing fantastic. And again, it's unique. My journey, the places, and I run into friction points myself, and then I have to back up and go, how do you deal with this? What are you going to do to get rid of it? Early on, I shared when I first started that I was running into a point of friction where I would not, I would ask someone for some information or to do something, and I would say I need it by tomorrow. Well, 3 days would go by and I didn't get it, and I didn't remember that they owed it to me, and now I need to produce something and I don't have what I need, and I'm on for a scramble. So when I stepped back and said, "How do you deal with that?" Well, one of the things I did is when I ask anyone for anything, I write a task and I use ETR and a date. Expect to return, meaning I'm expecting a return for whatever that is, whatever date I expected, the person's name, and a little description of what it is, like 1 or 2 words. So this is literally takes me like a couple of seconds to do. And that stopped me from needing to get information back from someone and then forgetting that they did to check if they gave it to me. And I don't live and work out of email, so I'm not checking email all the time for it. But that's an example of how I had run into a friction point and had to figure out a solution for it. And the simple, again, easy to do, easy not to do. Many times, the simple way to handle getting rid of the friction is the best way because it'll be easy to do, and that's what you want.
Yeah, good stuff. Another place you can find Florence is at Buy Me a Coffee. She does offer memberships, and she has a fantastic newsletter if you become a member and get access to that gives you her productivity tips and gives you a peek into the mind of a very productive person. So my newsletter is a bag of crazy cats, but hers is actually organized and has really good tips and stuff. So that is another place you can find, and both those links are in the channel description. So you want to go and find all the places where Florence is at. So let's go back and talk about the bonus tips that I have here.
And Roy, I'll just say all the different ways if you just go to florencedonald.live, and you don't have to remember anything except that one place, florencedonald.live, and that'll get you to me, including if you want to have a chit chat with me.
Awesome. Which you should want to go chit chat with Florence. So the 2-minute rule. So start now. The principle is overcoming initial inertia is crucial. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, you should do it immediately.
You read Getting Things Done.
I have,
yeah. Yeah, I'm a big GTD nerd.
Applications for YouTube creation. Feeling overwhelmed, don't overthink. Commit to just 2 minutes of script writing, or 2 minutes of filming a quick intro, or searching for royalty-free background music for 2 minutes. Often you'll gain momentum and go beyond that time frame. So these are ways
absolutely
to get some stuff going, and these are great habits to have. And then embracing the 1% betterment rule. So I have talked on here a lot about how my personal goal is to get 1% better every time. The principle is tiny, consistent improvements compound over time, leading to impressive results. You gotta, done is better than perfect. It could pretty much paraphrase that next line. Emphasize the power of progress over perfection. You don't need huge leaps each day. And then the inverse is true. Small declines compound to lead to setbacks. So, if something happens and you have something that kind of interrupts you, charge forward and try to get immediately going forward again, because that has an impact. So, and applications of how to use it for YouTube is, focus on incremental change. Don't get caught up in trying to completely overhaul everything at once. Each time you create, aim to be just slightly better than the last time. If you go look at my early videos, you're gonna find I've gotten better. Maybe I need a lot of improvement, but I've gotten better for sure. So definitely feel like my process is a lot slicker, and that habits are very helpful, and doing anything I can to prevent friction would benefit any creator, whether you're live or whatever. But definitely, for live streaming, you need those habits so that you are consistent every time you go live. So, just that's good stuff. So,
Yeah,
Florence,
I
what's
want to
your
talk. Yeah, I want to. The
yeah?
2 minute rule is tremendous. I will give you a little bit of caution. Okay, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Hmm.
Yes, use it. Don't get caught up in I've got to write it down. If it's real quick, don't bother writing it down. Just do it. Just go do it and be done with it. Get it out of your out of your life, out of your way, out of your thought, out of your head. Get rid of it. At the
Yeah,
same time, use something like time boxing so that you don't end up doing 2 minute things and 6 hours later you're still seeing, but this will only take 2 minutes, this will only take 2 minutes, this will only take 2 minutes, and then you've distracted yourself and you haven't done the thing that you really intended to do or needed to do. With all of this, there is a set of boundaries to put in place for yourself. Time boxing. Roy just showed the Pomodoro cube can be very effective because it'll help. It's a trigger, right? You hear that little thing clicking like a clock. 25 minutes, you're done. Take a break. Go at it again. I use time boxing and time blocking. They're not the same thing.
yeah,
Time boxing is when you say, I'm going to do this thing for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or an hour, whatever it is. And at the end of that time period, you stop. Wherever you are, you stop. So use the 2 minute rule. Don't be writing it down, putting it in your system, checking it off. Just go do it and be done with it. That's one. And that 1% better, it's forever. In the
yeah,
IT world, an application, anything you're releasing, we have a saying, and Roy, you know this well because you're in the IT world. Version one is better than version none. Just get it out there. Just get it out there. If it's a blog, if it's a newsletter, if it's a video, if it's a podcast, if it's a graphic design, just get it out there. You can iterate and get better. I'm learning so much in this live video space. I was sharing with Roy Friday. I looked completely orange on the screen because I got these Godox lights that I'm learning how to use. Okay, version one is better than the version none. I went live anyway. It is not the end of the earth, and if somebody doesn't like it, they're not going to watch it. Okay,
yeah. That's true.
it's okay.
All right, let's see what else everybody else says here. Mm,
Hey,
yeah, all
Frank.
right. Let's see, let's see. Oh, lots of. Oh, hey, Frank's in the house. Yeah, all right, yep. So those things. I didn't know you played piano. Why am I just now learning this? I
Yes, he
practiced all
does.
over
Look at you.
spattering my
Haven't been
piano.
on. You haven't been on his show then because his piano is right there in his background.
Yeah, he has a channel called Piano Awesome, by the way, in case you didn't know that. My goal is to play AC/DC Thunderstruck. That's a fast song. Frank in there. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Hey, Frank. Everybody's saying hey to Frank. Hey, Josh. The 1% Club application. There you go. What about the 5 second rule?
If you can get it done, get it done.
Yeah. You just got to pick up your food a lot faster. That's what it is. Yeah, if you drop it. So, what kind of cube was that? Oh, this is a. All right, let's
Pomodoro cube.
we'll go to a bigger screen here. So this is a Pomodoro cube, and the cool thing about this is that when I need to do something, I will turn it like this, and it starts a countdown. So I'll put it down, and the timer goes off after 10 minutes. So it's just a way to try to get myself motivated to do something I'm supposed to do. So uh, yeah, that works great. I
It's a
actually
trigger,
it is.
right? It's a trigger. It's visible. It's easy for you to do. We're doing
Hmm.
the loop, right? It's easy for you to do. It's also easy for you not to do. But you get a reward when you say, I did this thing for the 10
Yeah.
minutes or the 25 minutes or whatever, and now I can move on.
Yep.
You just completed the loop. Just that quick.
And then time blocking. I literally go on my calendar and schedule blocks of time for myself because I have specific things I need to focus on. I may need to do planning. I may be working on project requirements and that type of thing. And I do similar for content creation. Florence has been trying smacking me on the hand and says, "Why don't you use the stuff you do in your professional job for your content creation?" And I'm like, I know that's obvious, but I'm trying to get away from work. So, but yeah, I mean, I understand that. So I am trying to do that kind of stuff. Let's see, what else are about to saying? Uh, can I use that cube on the craps table in Vegas?
I don't think they're gonna let you.
Yeah.
The little
Uh,
the little people that walk around with guns, they may not like that so much.
yeah. Mommy guy wants to know. So nice. Is that in your Amazon shop? No, it's not. It should be. I guess I'll share a link in my description.
It'll be in his description.
Yeah, I'll put it in my description. So that's where I got it from Amazon. David Hunt says I will need to watch this again. So, yep,
Okay,
those
David.
the the cool thing was to just figure out ways to make your content creations, your live streams, everything, to form habits to set yourself up for success. I mean, one of the things I do is in my list of things that have to be done for a live stream, I have to make sure I've got a hook so that as soon as I go on, I go right in immediately and talk about what are we going to do on this episode so that people say, okay, here's why I'm here. This is what the value proposition this is. The other part is I do add the thumbnail to the very beginning. So when people click on the thumbnail and they see that thumbnail, okay, yeah, I landed where he said I was going to land. And then I go right into the hook. I don't know if that does anything or not, but it's something I've been doing for a few episodes now. And so just kind of, just seeing how that would go. And, Florence, what's a good takeaway everybody can take from this episode?
I would say be mindful. The biggest takeaway is think about this loop of habit building. And if there's a habit that you formed and you want to change it, use the same process to develop the next habit or the new habit that you want to develop, right? Habits don't go away. You simply replace one with another.
Yeah,
Once your mind has learned something, it's not going to unlearn it.
yeah,
Once you've developed a habit, you actually don't unlearn the habit. What you do is you learn a new habit that replaces the other one. That's
yeah,
actually how we work neurologically.
yeah,
It's actually how we work. So figure out what that thing is that is a point of friction, not every point of friction in your process, in your workflow, but pick one. If it's Doc Rock, many of you know who he is. He's a content creator. He's one of the director of channel partnerships at Ecamm. I just did something on my computer. Hit the wrong button. He's the director of channel partnerships at Ecamm, and so he did a stream recently, and he talked about something very simple. And Roy talked about it today, but the way Doc explained it, I was like, ding, ding, ding. Your checklist of what you need to do before you go live, put it on a scene as a mechanical scene in Ecamm if that's what you use, so that you don't have to open up a separate document or a separate app or pull out a notebook or whatever you use to run through it. It's literally right there. When you open up Ecamm, you go to your profile, the first scene is your checklist and just run through it. That's a simple one. And when he said that, I was like, well, why didn't I think about that earlier?
yeah. He also does an equipment list as well, so he knows that he have what gear.
Yeah,
So
his mechanicals.
yeah, that's great advice. I've noticed that too that he does that. So that's actually really cool. So
Yeah, so that's an easy takeaway, something that you
yeah,
can, if you don't do it today, and if you don't use Ecamm, I know StreamYard has a different way of where you can put information that you can see. I don't know what it's called because I don't use StreamYard, but in that little section where you can put notes, just
Hmm.
make a note. That's your checklist if you don't have it, and you just want to have it easily available to you
Yeah,
without, again, easy to do, easy to find, easy trigger, easy, that right? Make it easy on yourself.
yeah, definitely agree with that. Let's see. A few other people out here. Let's see what they said. Let's see. Um, could probably use as well for my crafty show challenges. Yeah, there you go. As a
Yeah.
solo mom, things can sometimes really overwhelm me, so creating healthy habits can be a great game changer indeed. Definitely agree with
Yes, la
that.
la. As a solo mom, you've got a lot of moving parts. A whole
Yeah.
bunch of moving
David
parts.
says, I need to watch again because I didn't feel like asking for the slide deck. If you want it as a PDF, I will gladly send it to you.
Roy
So
will no, 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 no.
that's right.
No,
I'm
no,
supposed to
no.
tell you to sign up for my newsletter, and when you sign up for that, then I
No,
send it to you as a
no,
freebie.
no, no, no. That's not what you're gonna say. If you want to make it available, I'm coaching y'all. Um, PDF it, make it available on your website or on your Buy Me a Coffee page, and let
Hmm.
folk go download it.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Reboot or reset our habits. Yep. Yes, that stream. Power up or hit the reset button like a PS1. Yeah, that was definitely a life hack from Doc Rock. Agree with that. And you can create a checklist as
Yes.
an overlay in
Oh,
StreamYard as
I
well.
have a. I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you this, Roy. This is a fun fact for those of you who know. And when you said life hack, for those who've been around a minute, you may have read the book Life Hack, Life Hack
Hmm.
by Gina Trapani. She actually works at my company.
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Is that the Gina Trapani I think it is?" I reached out to her. She was like, "Yeah, it's me."
That's cool.
I was like, I was uber excited because I'm like, now I get to ask her questions. I can get directly to her. I don't have to go through nobody or nothing.
You got to go through a publicist to ask questions.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, David says you can create a checklist as an overlay in StreamYard as well because you can do scenes in
Okay.
StreamYard. And okay,
Yeah.
let's listen. Put it on our website. Let people download it. Thanks, Florence, for the reminder. So I will make it available if you want it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll put it out
You
there for
know,
you.
that's one of those you talk about being overwhelmed and you have like Lala where you're a solo mom, putting things where people can get to them is one of those hacks, if you will, that you can still serve your community and not have it be so onerous on you. People emailing you or texting you and calling you asking for something that you can make it so they can just go grab it at their convenience. You're serving them, you're not inconveniencing them, and you're not taking on more. You do it one time, you set it and you let it go, and then you don't go change it again until you're ready to update that document or that digital
Yeah.
download or whatever it is, that graphic, and you leave it for them to be able to download it. Now, I'm not saying you charge for it. I'm not saying you don't charge for it. That's your decision based on your business model. But put it where people can get it themselves and serve themselves when it's convenient for them.
I definitely agree. All right. Oh, let's see. What was the name of that book again? David said he had not heard of that book. What's the name of that book again that you mentioned your coworker did life hacks?
Life hacks. I'll grab the link and give it to you.
Okay. All right. Dagan, thank you, sir. I appreciate that observation. Thank you. And that's now this is the part where I'm
Thank you,
supposed to do.
Dagan.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Florence, thank you so
You
much
are
for being
most
on the show.
welcome,
I
sir.
always you're one of my favorite creators and one of my favorite people and
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
have a blast when you're on here and I enjoy just our interactions together because it's been a lot of fun and then I'm sorry I'm so trying on you but thanks for trying to help me. um
Y'all, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna get him. This is one thing we're working on.
yeah.
And Roy is one of my favorite people. You are absolutely one of my favorite people. As I say to you, be who you are. Bring your whole self to the game. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
She was.
Yes.
Mm.
And bring your whole self to the game. Be who you
Yeah.
are. I'm genuinely who I am. My brother and my best friend will tell you, she's really like this. she, she would probably plan how to, hug me if she could. But that's who I am.
Hey, Miss Denise, how you
Thank
doing?
you,
Welcome.
Denise. Apron Diva.
Yeah.
Apron Diva.
Definitely, Florence is full of great information. Definitely go and subscribe to Florence's channel, Equip Institute. You definitely got to go and subscribe to that. And as she mentioned, equipinstitute.live,
No, Florence Donald live.
FlorenceDonald.live. That gets you everything she's got going on. So if you're looking for where's Florence,
Florence
FlorenceDonald.live will
Donald
take you to
live.
everything she's doing. And I'm sorry to include that link. I'll go back and add it to the description so I have no excuses and you have no excuses. So, all right. That's it. That is our show again, Florence. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. I'm supposed to do my call to action. So here, everybody, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you're Team Replay, please leave me a comment. Hashtag Team Replay and let me know that you enjoyed the stream. And ask any questions. I'll refer it to Florence and get her to reply to that. And so that's it. That's our show. YouTube is going to tell you to go over here and click on a video. And so whatever YouTube says, I'm sure it's true. You should watch that video next. So thank you so much. Have a great night. I'm out of here. Bye.